Welcome to the Devil's Advocate. Today we're diving into the world of expensive real estate, where luxury meets questionable decisions. We'll break down what they got right, from jaw-dropping design to next-level amenities, and we'll call out what missed the mark. Let's see if these high-priced homes are truly worth the hype. Today we're looking at the most expensive home for sale in San Diego.
Home in La Jolla just hit the market.
Famous Sandcastle estate just hit the market.
For more than $100 million.
$108 million beachfront mansion in La Jolla.
On this week's episode, we're touring an iconic property, the Sandcastle.
$108 million listing is the most expensive in San Diego County's history.
If it sells at that price, it would break
Could
records.
shatter local real estate record.
This is the absolute one of a kind. In every space in this house, when you wake up in the morning, every bedroom is so exhilarating. So you have the seawall, you have your own private beach, and you have private beach access. None of that can be replicated again today.
The way the grounds are laid out and terraced, the architecture, and how it stands on the bluff overlooking the Pacific Ocean is truly one of a kind. So it's our great pleasure to welcome all of you to the Sandcastle.
And you're just here during the day. Wait till this evening comes. It's something that's so unique, one of a kind, and so fascinating that you're in disbelief that it exists.
And there you have it. That's the intro to the Sandcastle, the $108 million property in San Diego. The first question and the most important question is, who is this house for? Generally, when you have property in this very high stratosphere of pricing, of property, exclusivity, things of that sort, these houses are very specific. They're very unique and representative of the people who put the blood, sweat, and tears and money into making these what they are. To the extent where generally they become unsellable in a way, whereas there's a lot of times you have no expense spared rather, to make these realize the property to the specification of the homeowners, where the finished product is not of the same value to the person who's buying it. So there's a dance here. The dance has to be, who is it for? Who currently has it now? Who is it going to be for in the future? And hopefully they match.
So La Jolla's topography is Mount Soledad, which is a mountain that is pushed up in the middle of the city of San Diego. And from that precipice, you have 5 spectacular views. This one actually has a combination of 2 of those spectacular views, which is the North Shore view and the waterfront view, which is really the most valuable view, but also the most aesthetically pleasing view of all of them.
Once again, welcome to the Sandcastle. What an amazing property. And today's tour is going to be a little bit different. We're going to start from the beach and work our way up all the way to the main residence. Now, what makes this property so special is the water frontage. The fact that you can enjoy and appreciate the Pacific Ocean so closely, so intimately. And it is all thanks to this massive 163-foot seawall that was built in 1955, and it was grandfathered in. And as you can see, we have the ocean right there. Now, it's currently high tide. That's why the water comes up all the way to the seawall. And later in the afternoon, we'll experience this beach during low tide so we can see a little bit more sand and enjoy the California coastline.
Now, don't know the year the home was built, but if it like more than likely pretty closely follows the building of the seawall, which is 1955. I think you'll see some. It may not be obvious, but you'll be able to see some characteristics of 1955 that manifests itself in the design decisions that had to be made, or compromises that had to be made as a result of 1955. The remnants of 1955 are building onto the backbone of what the house could potentially have kept in order to realize this property. You'll be able to see.
I mean, my backdrop is fantastic. Hearing and seeing the ocean is incredible. And on the lower section of this property, we have this incredible terrace with a built-in seating area, fire pit, additional seating sections. And turning to this side, we have this massive shotgunite wall. And above that is the main residence. Now, in case you're wondering...
Now, just if you caught that, this rock wall is essentially a man-made bluff of sorts. Don't know what was there before, but this is basically the same process how swimming pools are made. It says it's a gunite pool, and basically what that is they form a structure. So what's behind that is it's likely a combination of backfill, stone, rock, even metal reinforcement to form a shell. And then they go back on top of it by shooting a specialized concrete to create that form. And right away, you can see the disjointedness or the connection between this man-made foundation to look like a piece of rock or stone, natural stone, where the house. You have this lower area where Enos is standing right here, and it looks very underwhelming compared to the intro, what you saw earlier, where the house is magnificent. It sits very well on the site, but everything below the main house doesn't look like it belongs. It looks very disconnected. This area, if you can, just look at just the umbrella, the patio umbrella, the table and the chairs, even the stone or the tile or whatever that is. It doesn't look like this is a part of this estate. It looks like it's part of maybe like a public outdoor space maintained by, maybe like a park and rec type of division of San Diego. It doesn't look like it belongs to this house.
How they built a structure like this. First, you have your seawall that anchors the property, anchors the land to the beach.
Are you ready for FanDuel's The Great Playoff Payoff? Who's in?
And then, to capitalize on this bluff, they have placed massive concrete caissons to lock and secure this bluff in its place. And then they use concrete to cover the surface and basically lock the earth, lock the land, so that they can have a jarring, incredible structure like this above it. I mean, look at my frame, Cody. Look at the house, the architectural lines.
So now I can't unsee it after listening to his description of what the house was built upon, a gunite type of facade underneath the main structure. All I see is swimming pool, and not in a good way.
Columns, the limestone facade. I mean, it's incredible. What a view.
It literally looks like we're at an amusement park and there's just a castle right above us right now.
And the fact that you have an outdoor terrace like this right by the water, and gets better. Follow me this way. Now, since they built the house around this bluff or this hillside, they have actually built two separate caves. This one opens up to the lobster cave. And yes, you heard me correctly. Inside, there's a small saltwater pool where they used to keep their lobsters, breed lobsters. Now, the current homeowner maintains this spot. They still have the saltwater pool there, but they don't have any lobsters. But I just thought that this was such an interesting detail. Now,
Yeah, I don't know if I would have showed that because, for one, the height the height of the door doesn't lend itself to. It doesn't look inviting. It looks, it kind of looks kind of ominous in a way, and he never goes in. So, to show what that looks like. I mean, if he's going through the trouble of describing what it is, you would think that we would have seen maybe like a glimpse or even just like a quick shot of what's in there. But right now, it looks like I don't want to go in there. At this price point, at the house, you don't need to have a lobster room. You can have lobster flown to you, delivered to you fresh. You can have lobster caught and driven to you in a limo. I don't know if I want a lobster cave underneath my house. It just doesn't seem like something something of note, something to even note as a feature.
now, going to the other side, we have another cave, and this one actually serves an amazing purpose. At the end of the cave, they have an elevator that goes up to every single floor of this property, all the way to the top floor. That way, from the beach, you can go to whichever level you like. Now, Cody, why don't we turn to the other side so we can showcase this really cool structure? Why don't you stop right here so we can talk about the boat bar? This was another structure that was grandfathered in from the original property, and you have this amazing bar that opens up to the outdoors right next to the ocean. Now, Cody, why don't we take everybody inside? It is designed and refurbished beautifully with dark cabinetry, natural stone floors, natural stone countertops, this vaulted ceiling design, and I love how all these windows are just opening up. I mean, that is the Pacific Ocean. You have a bar by the beach. So cool.
It really is. And the fact that the owner meticulously restored this piece of La Jolla history is just very impressive.
It's so special, and I love that they maintain some of the historic details. Number one, you see this beam right here, and there's actually a track and this old school pulley because the original homeowners built this shack to keep their kayaks here and launch them straight to the ocean, and that's why they have this beam here. So cool. Number two, can we get a close-up on this photo? This is the original house that was built in 1929, and you can actually see the shack right there and the seawall, and gets better.
Now this is interesting. Upon initial my initial impression when they showed this, when he just walked into to the boat shack, it didn't seem like it was a part of this house. Now it doesn't, it only matches. The only way you can tell there's some relation there is just the color, but the structure itself doesn't match the opulence of the main structure. But when you look at it this way in the picture, it shows a better cohesiveness. You kind of see the how it connects, even though it's there at different elevations. It still has a connection to the previous iteration of the house than the current one. Not sure if my initial impression is this looks like this could be like a I don't know, some sort of coffee shop, some sort of snack shop for passersby on the beach. It doesn't really look like it belongs with this house in its current form.
Follow me this way. There's another photo of the property or its condition when the current homeowner bought it, and they remodeled the main structure, turned it into the main residence, and then they added on the guest residence and turned this into this insane compound that we're looking at today. So this is a piece of California history, iconic property, the view, the sound, the experience, one of a kind. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too, definitely.
Now, Cody, why don't we step outside, because this is where this tour is going to get really, really exciting. To my left, we have a door that opens up to a full bathroom where we have a walk-in shower, vanity, really nice mosaic tiles. So it's nice that this bar comes with its own bathroom. Now I want to take
And this is interesting. I saw a landline phone in the while he was on the inside that kind of goes back to the age of the home. But this little detail right here, this little small alcove, reminds me of how people had like a designated spot in their homes, usually in the hallway, where you kept your landline, along with the telephone book. I don't know if many of you remember what telephone books look like in the areas that were built inside of homes to house them. But this is pretty interesting. This kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if this is the case per se. I don't really know what that is, but it kind of reminds me of that sort of a detail. So it would be interesting to know the history. If anyone knows what that is, let me know.
take everybody to the other side. We have the stairs taking you down to this landing area, and next to that, we have additional steps taking you down to the beach. That's right, you have your own beach access straight from your property, which is so exciting and gets better. Cody, why don't we turn this way? Because I have to show this structure to everyone. Let's see. Sorry for that. And this is your little water toy storage area. I mean, you have your paddle boards, surfboards, kayaks, right by the water. How exciting is this? I feel like this is everybody's California dream.
That's literally everyone's dream. Just taking a board out in the morning. Like, the weather right now is so nice.
Water looks so nice today. And yeah, you have this right by the beach. And gets better. Follow me this way.
Yeah, one thing of note here, just really interesting, that when he opened the doors, and can't really tell if it's just the squeak of the hinges because they're by the river. I mean, by the ocean, and the salt water may affect the lubrication or the opening of the hinges, or if it's weather stripping or something like that at the bottom. But the one thing, it stands out, especially when you're touring a $108 million property, you don't want to hear sounds you're not supposed to hear. I would have appreciated maybe, getting some WD-40 or some other lubricant on those hinges, because this video, Enos's video is going to be seen by 1 million people easily. Probably the buyer, in the lasting impression that they're going to see. The first and the lasting impression is going to be, man, that's a squeaky door. What's going on with that? And what it does, this sort of thing kind of makes you wonder, well, what else? If they're not paying attention to something that can be resolved pretty easily as this, what else is being not addressed in the primary structure?
Over on this side, you have your own private beach. And this was another section of the property that was grandfathered in. And the fact that you have this massive private beach all to yourself, and it sits 15 to 20 feet above the public beach, is just incredible. Then you have the ocean. The backdrop, this is wild.
This really is, and I don't know if it conveys on camera, but this private beach space is absolutely huge. It's got.
Now, I think they're drinking some of the Kool-Aid of the real estate agent, calling this a private beach. I mean, this is a terrace with sand poured on it. They say it's 20 feet above the public beach, which, when you're looking at property like this, you want a connection to the elements, to the real elements, not fabricated elements. And this just comes across as just an embellishment to me. It's a great space. It just comes across as, like we're describing a terrace here, people. It's not a private beach.
Got to be what, 12 to 1,500 square feet?
Easily. And not only that, they maintain it meticulously. The sand looks so good. That's why I don't want to step all the way to the center. I'm just going to stay here. But what a wild experience. And also the sand here was from Augusta National Golf Course. So it's this really fine, soft sand. And yeah, lounging chairs, the ambiance, this is incredible. And turning to the other side, look at this hillside, how they've landscaped it. And then you have all these staircases taking you up to the main level. In fact, let's go up there.
Topgolf is introducing free playtime. Anytime. Waggles on a Wednesday, free. Saturday mornings.
Now I want to take a quick moment to give a special thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. We always emphasize the importance of it can all be more accessible in as little as a few, no matter what personal life, 10%. This is where you start getting a sense of the scale of this property. Now that we're halfway up on the bluff, we got this really quaint landing area, the landscaping, palm trees, sunshine, and the house itself. I mean, look at the main residence. It looks so powerful on this bluff.
Now, I would agree with that. Just to jump in really quick. In my initial impression, and from that vantage point, this house looks like it's a quarter of a mile away. I don't think it's nearly that far. It just has that feel, that depth, that expanse to it. It was described as about 160 something feet of a seawall from a width perspective. So it's likely not much wider than that, if any. But it does feel like it, and that's a good thing. That's what people are going to pay for. They want to pay for that sense of majesty, and I think that's what you see here at this vantage point.
And this property was inspired after Palace of Versailles, and that's where the architecture and the styling comes from. Look at all the stone railings, the columns, arches, and the top floor houses the incredible primary bedroom that we're going to tour last. Now, Cody, why don't we pan this way so we can showcase the area that we just covered. Down there is the private beach. Next to that, you have your boat bar, Pacific Ocean. Even from this level, you get this nice intimate view. And as we go further into the property, we're going to get a little bit more privacy and more of these unobstructed views. Now, the landscaping of this property is so special. Manicured and maintained so beautifully. They created so many different zones, areas, places for you to enjoy. And when you look around, you really appreciate the stonework, the railings, these stone steps, and it brings you to this landing where we're a little bit closer to the main floor of the home and all the amazing outdoor spaces. We also have this beautiful water feature here with a sculpture right in the center, and the stunning guest residence is right behind me. Now, since we can see the house really well from this angle, let's get the specs out of the way. We have 10 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, 12,981 square feet of interior space, and this estate is listed for $108 million.
This is interesting. I would have my initial impression seeing this house. It had very much the feel and the presence of a 25,000 square foot house. So this is interesting. So in other words, it feels bigger than it actually is. And that's an important detail, because a lot of times in this price range, you have a lot of just warehousey type of volumes, just large for no reason type of expanses of houses. Whereas this, it plays differently, because you have not only do you have the interior square footage that's spread out, that kind of relaxes some of the pressure for that space to be on the inside. You have outdoor spaces that probably add up to to a lot of square footage. Like I think he described about 1,500 square foot on the outdoor private beach, aka terrace. You have this space right here where he is. That's about that's probably 100 square feet right there. And then you have what's behind him, where the pool in front of the guest suite is in that area. Not only that, but I think there was like a dining type, outdoor lounge type of space that people can experience in many ways outside of the primary residence. So this is a good thing for this house to have, especially in this price range. You don't have like just a front yard or a backyard. You have like many different ways to experience the outdoors in the space.
I want to give big thanks to the listing agents, Brett Dickinson, Ross Clark, and the listing brokerage, Compass, for making this tour possible. We are beyond excited to be here. This is an iconic property on the California coast, and we still have so much more to see. Now, taking the steps on this side, I want to bring everybody up to the main level, the limestone flooring throughout really ties the feel and the theme of this level. And right in the center, we got this gorgeous Mediterranean style pool clad with glass mosaic tiles, and it looks stunning. We have the
One thing I wanted to call to your attention is that it was mentioned that this house was inspired by Versailles in France. He's described this pool as Mediterranean style. He's described the architecture in a way that may not kind of speak to Versailles. So it's kind of really interesting just the design language that this house has. I don't know how you would describe it. And the reason why, and I think you'll see this as time goes along, looking at some of the materials, like the columns, for example, and the archways. The columns I think they were only able to achieve this color palette because they did not use any natural materials in a way that would have, conveyed that message better. Like these columns they look, from my eye, they look like poured concrete. The maybe some of the archways, there may be some stone there, but I don't think it's to the extent that it should be in a house like this. You likely have stucco walls, or some sort of plaster type of wall. You don't have, and I think you'll be able to see this because I can tell right away. Like some of the facade should have, in a house like this, should have maybe cut stone, huge marble blocks, walls. They should have, some substantial feel to it. And concrete, and stamped concrete, or whatever the process is to create the walls, the vertical walls, they just don't give that same visual heft. They don't give that same feeling of arrival. They don't give that same feeling of majesty, of reverence in a house like this, especially using Versailles as an inspiration.
The jacuzzi to our right, overflowing into the pool, deep end on this side, and between the pool, the color here, this guest residence and its architecture, the precast stone on the facade, all these Corinthian details coming together. This is an amazing backdrop. And from this level, you get to experience the Pacific Ocean. And since this part of the home is a little bit pushed back from the beach, it's actually really, really private. We have tall hedging on each side. So from this terrace, all you see and hear is the Pacific Ocean, which is incredible. Now, before we talk about the main house, I actually want to turn back to the guest residence so we can talk about its architecture and some of its details. It was actually completed in 2015. They had to place 47 concrete caissons to secure this brand new structure in place. It features 3 guest suites on the top floor, over 3,000 square feet, and packed with so many other amenities. Now, the first space within the guest residence I want to talk about is this rotunda, this really cool entry hallway.
This is what I mean here. And he just confirmed what I said. Cast concrete. I mean, you can look at the seam in between the columns here, which, this is cast concrete all day long. And nothing, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think in a house like this, I think I would have expected some solid marble columns. And I think those sorts of things are available. Especially, if someone has a wherewithal to create, this home of this magnificence, in this stature. I don't think that's a difficult task or a tall task. He also mentioned too that a lot of the stonework, he called it stonework, was precast. I don't know if you'd call precast concrete stonework. You can describe it as precast cement, but stonework kind of evokes a feeling of using natural materials from the earth. And this house doesn't have a lot of that on the facade, if any at all.
That is circular and features a really nice dome ceiling that is clad with mosaic tiles, the light fixture, the columns, this stone carving here, and the flooring. The amount of time that went into these floors, and this is a really special entry to your 2 cabanas. This way, we have the first cabana. Let's go in. These bathrooms are some of the most extravagant common spaces I've ever seen in any residential.
And I can certainly agree with that. Now, this is a very good contrast between what we saw, some of the design decisions that were made in order to realize this house. You can tell that with the guest suite, there was a focus on the materiality, the some of the finishes and things like that inside the guest house. Look at the wall sconces. This wall sconces look like they could be fine jewelry. They're kind of made in the design of what a woman would wear, with the pear-shaped diamond type of inspiration and the diamonds encircling that the larger light sconce. You also have looks like basins or sinks rather that were carved out of marble. Even the fixtures, the trim on the mirrors, and even in the other room, you can look over to the left where you see the wall sconce that's in gold in the picture frames. Also the the doorknobs and the handles, even some of the floor work. All these things are beautiful. This works for this house. This works very well. I hope that they continue the same design language in the rest of the house as they've shown here. And this is just a guest suite bathroom. It's done very well.
Home. The craftsmanship, the materials, the fabrication, it is stunning. Look at the cabinetry here with mirror fronts, your marble countertop and marble sinks, the faucets, the toiletries, and how the space is presented. Look at those wall sconces attached to the mirror with this gold leaf mirror frame. The pearl walls and the mosaic tiles throughout are just spectacular. This is her side of the cabana, and we also have a little makeup area here, built-in seating, this really cozy, elegant space. And wait till you see the walk-in shower on this side. The mosaic detailing in this space has been taken to another level between the color contrast, the fabrication, the onyx inlays, the shampoo niches, and the fixtures throughout. And if that wasn't enough, we go this way. We have 2 separate water closet rooms done to perfection. Amazing cabana. And next door, we have the second one. This is his side of the cabana, and we have 2 urinals here. The onyx used in this space is just so vibrant.
Well, yeah. Gosh, when he opened the door, this looks like he's describing this as vibrant and bright. The onyx, it looks very pale. Now, it's not bad. It's not bad. It just doesn't seem to have that same design language as the hers side of the cabana. The fixtures here are, they're elegant in their own way. Not too modern, but still have that kind of sort of those softer edges on the urinals there. The onyx, though, I don't know if don't really know if this was a good decision. It just looks like just a bland blob of stone with no visual interest there. I think they could have used it as an opportunity to put something that had maybe like some gold inlays and or veining or something like that to kind of match the same design language. It just doesn't hit the same way here as it does on the other side.
Color, the veins, and then you have your mosaic flooring throughout, the vanities, these natural stone sinks and THC fixtures, Jo Malone toiletries, the way this room smells. It feels like a bathroom for an exquisite steakhouse or like a really elegant restaurant. And you come over here, you have a small locker space, built-in seating, this really cool window, and you have your walk-in shower here, and they use the same stone palette in this space as well. Again, these are some of the most extravagant bathrooms, but we got to walk outside.
So the men's restroom, if you will, looks like something from a steakhouse. Now, do you want your $108 million residence to have a bathroom that looks like a like it was designed to be in a steakhouse. That may be some design language that kind of fit that description that I want, maybe like in a bar or something like that. But my bathroom, I don't know if I want my bathroom to be described as a steakhouse bathroom, especially at this price point.
So we can continue our tour. The guest residence opens up to the outdoors. We have these beautiful arch openings, columns with Corinthian details, and over on this side we have multiple different seating and dining areas, and these tables are marble fabricated with the meander pattern, so they match the aesthetic of the home really well. And then over on this side we have these arch openings and sliding glass doors fully pocketing into the walls, opening up to the great room.
You're listening to KABC in Los Angeles. We've got clear skies, a perfect 68 degrees.
Without a doubt, one of the most impressive spaces within this property. The sheer scale of this room, the intricate details, and how it's furnished, it is so special, and I can't believe a great room like this exists within the guest residence. To my right, we have a really elegant seating area, coffered ceilings with these hand-painted sections, beautiful natural stone floors with all these intricate inlays, and over on the other side, we have this exquisite bar. The millwork, how this space was crafted, all the natural stone finishes and mood lighting, it looks fantastic. I love that they brought the same Corinthian details to the bar as well, and we have the open shelving with mirror back walls, your Swarovski and Baccarat glassware, spares down below, the bar seating here. I mean, what an elegant space and a perfect room to entertain, and even better, the mermaid sculpture that you have up there is from 18th century and is actually an authentic sculpture. This is wild. I mean, what a bar.
I would agree with that. Walking in, there was, if you recall, he's referencing Corinthian columns, the meander pattern, which is, I believe, of Greek origin, the Mediterranean pool, the French Versailles kind of inspiration. They seem to play well together in this space. This is beautiful in here. The coffer ceiling, the millwork as he described. Some of the materials, I mean, I would expect the rest of the house to look this way. This is very well done. Even through watching it on the screen, it conveys, elegance and opulence in a very tasteful way, very well.
Really is. And I really like the fact that it's sunken down and you're sitting at a seat instead of a bar stool.
Exactly. In fact, Cody, why don't we take everybody to the other side so we can show them the experience. Your countertop is also lit, and this is a pretty good sized bar. And obviously, they had some fantastic events here, fundraisers. It's just a great space to entertain. And we've been told by the listing agents that the bar seats here are very, very comfortable. And I've never sat in them, so I'm going to try this out. Yes. Very comfortable. I feel like I'm in a town car right now. It is so comfortable and plush. And it's a really, really cool space. Now, Cody, why don't we take everybody this way, because the bar is complemented with an amazing kitchen here, designed more like a chef's kitchen.
No, I would agree. I would agree with that as well. Look at this. This is better than a lot of people's primary kitchen. I mean, look at the 48-inch Viking range and hood, along with the Viking, looks like a double, maybe like a double 36 for a total of 72 inches across, double refrigerator. I mean, just in the appliances alone could be 30 grand. Not to mention the very nice looking espresso machine in the corner there. And again, this is a room that probably will not be seen by the homeowner probably isn't going to spend much time here, but they still spent the money here. Look at the cabinetry. The cabinetry is very nice, even though it may not be the taste for a lot of people. This is real. This is very elegant. It's very livable. I mean, again, a lot of people's primary kitchens don't look this nice. This is very well done.
We have solid wood cabinetry, natural stone countertops, this really unique mirror backsplash design, and over here we have the Viking gas stove, your built-in appliances, fridge, freezer, and gets better. There's actually a door here that opens up to the back section of this kitchen where we have an outdoor barbecue area.
Now look at this. This is pretty interesting too. If you look at the pizza oven here, I would have expected for this space, and you don't really see a lot of outdoor cooking spaces, so it kind of takes away in the other outdoor spaces. You would think that it would be an opportunity to create like a communal type of experience for people to kind of hang around the grill, so to speak, with beer and or a soda or or whatever whatever you want to have as you congregate in an outdoor space. Typically, one of those things that people like to do is to hang around like around an oven, like fire. People are drawn to fire in open outdoor spaces like that. This pizza oven, I would have expected this to be something just a little nicer to kind of go with the grandeur of the house. And what I mean by that is maybe like an exposed kind of exterior where you have maybe like some inlaid tile or something like that in a kind of organic, kind of light bulb type of shape, like typical what you see in pizza ovens. But this looks like, this looks more like a trash compactor than a pizza oven. I just think this may not have been the best use of whatever the design decision was to arrive at this decision. I don't think it was a good decision. I think they could have done better, especially at this price point.
With a pizza oven, so you can really host events here and make sure your entertainment is complemented with an amazing meal as well. Now, going back out, on this side, we have a door that opens up to the exterior of the guest residence. And of course, for a space like this, we need a powder room, which is located on this side. I mean, look at the details here. Marble and onyx floors. This vanity with all these intricate details. Your backlit sink, the faucet, the mirror, and the frame around it. And then you have your separate water closet here. And this bathroom has such an intimate, cavernous feel with the ceiling design. Exquisite. Now, getting back out, I want to take everybody to the other side so we can talk about this elegant seating area. The way this room is furnished, curated, the accessories, placement of all these sculptures, and these beautiful art. I mean, it's an experience to be here, to feel a space like this, and you have your marble fireplace that was imported from France. Your TV is nicely recessed into the cabinetry. We have another mermaid sculpture up there matching the one on the other side, and between the coffered ceilings.
You may not immediately recognize the level of detail or in craftsmanship that is just in the TV surround. A lot of TVs, I say the majority of TVs, when people have them in spaces like this, they're just mounted with a very rudimentary, just basic TV wall mount, and it's hung on it, and the TV kind of juts out from the space. Nothing, not too offensive to the eye, generally, but this takes it in a totally different direction. It makes the TV look like a piece of art. The TV is turned off, but it's designed behind some very intricate, very beautiful millwork. This is executed very well. You won't see that too often.
Floors, the textures in the room, and having the Pacific Ocean as your backdrop provides a really unique, one-of-a-kind experience. I've never been in a grand, significant space like this and be just entertained by the ocean as well. You have these like really cool mixed feelings.
It's really the best of both worlds, and I think the architecture and design team nailed it.
Their level of commitment and their attention to detail is admirable, and they went all out when it comes to every single room, every single moment to create a one-of-a-kind experience, and I think they've certainly done that. Now, Cody, let's bring everybody this way. We have a beautiful staircase landing, this marble sculpture, gorgeous chandelier, and how elegantly this staircase curves up to the second floor of the guest residence. There are 3 guest bedrooms on the second floor, with each bedroom and its own suite bath decorated in their own palette that still matches the rest of the home. Each feature natural stones, elegant fixtures, and they all share a massive balcony that overlooks the property and the ocean. Now let's take a look. Guest suites on this level are so exquisite, and we're excited to welcome you to this one that is situated on the left wing. You have carpet floors, king-size bed, this really intricate headboard design, and fabric walls throughout. And look at all the bedside tables, the window treatments, and just like the first floor of this guest residence, everything is curated to perfection. The art, the accessories, candles, and over on this side, we have another marble fireplace with all these gold details, and above is this beautiful art. Now, Cody, I need you to hold this frame right here because we have a really cool surprise. Check this out.
Look at that.
This is where your TV is, situated perfectly across from your king-size bed. And what an elegant way to cover your TV and keep the theme of this room. And over on this side, we have more accessories and this really quaint, small reading nook. This has to be one of my favorite moments within this property. In the craziness of this massive estate, you'll have a really quaint, intimate space like this with fabric walls, these cool windows for you to read a book or have a little moment to yourself. Now, let's go back out.
This room, look, I froze it right here so you can see how he enters and exits this space. I think this space, if I recall, was designed as a brand new space, but this space that the reading nook feels much like it was a compromise, like it was space that they didn't have much need for, but turned it into something. It didn't really have a use before. It looks like it could have been a closet. I think it feels much like it could have been a closet in its original design. And maybe there was a compromise, somewhere else to not need a closet or a different closet anymore. And so they decided to turn it into a reading nook. When he goes in and sits down inside of it, it feels nothing like a reading nook. The seating along one wall, and it's kind of interrupted on the left-hand side by another kind of piece of seating that just doesn't feel like it's a good use of what he's described it as. Can't really see it as a reading nook. It just doesn't feel that way. And again, the intentionality of what it's supposed to be just doesn't come across. Looks like he's kind of squeezing through that entry, and he's not a big guy. He's squeezing inside and then kind of twisting himself to make it out. So it's just really interesting some of the design compromises that had to be made to realize this house in its current form.
Just like the rest of the guest suites, it opens up to a really nice balcony that we're going to check out in a second. But for now, we have to tour the dedicated bathroom.
Grammarly doesn't just improve the style of your writing, it also improves your substance. As you write, Grammarly...
The level of details and craftsmanship that went into this space really shows the homeowner's commitment to create something truly one of a kind. I mean, look at this space. The marble floors with all these intricate inlays, your custom cabinetry, and how all these drawers and doors have mirror fronts with gold leaf details. Then your marble countertops, these beautiful faucets, your toiletries, and how this space looks so immaculate. Your crown molding detail, and then you have this arch opening taking you to a built-in tub with more stone details and this gorgeous arch window. I mean, Cody, show me a space or a surface in this bathroom where they didn't pay attention or they didn't want to create and exude elegance.
I got one right here. On the vanity from this vantage point, if you look to the left of Enos, there's a wall receptacle that's level with the countertop. I understand why they did it. Probably did not want to interrupt the wall trim and the mirror, the mirror space. But this looks you take an electrician or someone who really cares about design, they would not have made this decision to put the receptacle at this level. I suspect this was, when this house is being built, they probably had it in a different space for to pass the inspection. But then, at the end, they probably changed it so that they can achieve the design they wanted to. And this is just a result of a compromise that had to be made. But I think they probably could have made a more artful, a more kind of hidden, or something that's a little bit less visual, by putting it just immediately above that space, but maybe making it look like it was built into the wall instead of kind of stuck on the backsplash area. I don't think this was a good decision.
I don't think I can, simply.
I mean, this is wild. And wait till you see this walk-in shower. I'm going to actually step in. You have gorgeous onyx border details, mosaic inlays, marble fabrication, even to your drain cover. And the fixtures on this side. This is such an elegant space. The craftsmanship is so incredible. And lastly, off of this room's entry, we have a separate water closet as well. Stunning bathroom, and wait till you see the outdoors. When you have a view like this, it is important to capitalize on it. And that's what this balcony does. I really like the way it's built with stone floors. You can actually see the precast stone details on the facade, and how we have all 3 guest suites opening up to this amazing outdoor space. You have the view to our right, and these stone railings give so much weight and power to this balcony. Not to mention you have this beautiful patina developing since we are by the water. And of course, the focal point here is the Pacific Ocean. You can hear it, you can smell it, you can experience it. And this is just a guest residence because we haven't shown you the main house and how you're welcome to this incredible property.
The history of the property is quite unique. La Jolla was predominantly really kind of a surf town, beach town. And back in 1929, somebody built a property up on the hill. It was a really cool kind of California beach house. In 1950s, there was a new home built there, but there was another home built on this property, 1955. In 2009, our client bought the property, and it was kind of a reddish colored house.
Yeah. So if you take a look, there's the existing space. You can see the beach barn or the beach shack or whatever it's described as below. Didn't look too bad here. You can kind of see how it's connected, but then you also see the existing structure. And if you take a look, you can see some of the materials or some of the original details that you think they're kind of hidden right now in the new reimagined space. But you'll be able to see once you get inside. Once Enos goes on the inside, you can kind of see where some of the existing details were, where they made decisions to keep some of the volumes and some of the layout. May not have been a good decision, but you'll be able to see it.
It had some of the dimensions where the main house is, and this property was still the original home.
There's a different vantage point, or the same vantage point, kind of, sort of, but in the new imagined space. So you can kind of see, if you peel back some of the layers, you see the old house. I don't know if that's I don't know if I can unsee the old house. So looking at it from this perspective, now certainly it is impressive, a lot more impressive than it was before, but you still see some of the old structure kind of shining through. And in this space, that's not the same as the guest space. You are able to see it. I don't know if I want to spend this amount of money and still see, kind of like remnants of the old house. It peeks through in a not in a good way.
Lined up for the current owner just to get two homes on the water with two seawalls that were pre-Coastal Commission Act. So it's really rare for that to happen, especially here at La Jolla Shores.
And then he hired Island Architects and Timothy Corrigan, who is a world-renowned interior designer. And they went about building this phenomenal home in this theme based on the Chateau de Versailles.
Now imagine that conversation with your architect. So they're having a conversation. So what do you think? What is your inspiration? What do you think of when you want your house to be elevated, taken to the next level? What is your inspiration? And then you have the homeowner say, hey, I want my house to look like Versailles. I think that's a pretty tall order. That's a pretty big ask to say, hey, I want my house to look like Versailles. What do you think? Do you guys think how well did the architect deliver on the homeowner's vision?
Now, this is how you arrive to this incredible property. We have the gates opening up to this spacious motor court that is nicely hedged, so private, and even more importantly, what a grand arrival experience. To our right, we have the cabanas that we toured earlier, nicely landscaped, and on the other side, you can see this tall hedging that is beautifully landscaped with sculptures, but more importantly, the scale here is crazy. How tall is the hedging behind me?
It's got to at least be 30 feet because you look tiny. We could stack probably 3 of you.
Amazing. And it just brings so much privacy to this motor court and to the home in general.
So Enos is not 10 feet tall. This is probably about a 20, 21, 22 foot height. He said he can stack 3 of him and get at 30 feet. I thought that was kind of funny. What I did notice too, I wish they would have shown the outside of the gate or the hedging so that you can imagine yourself arriving from your business trip or arriving off of, being at sea on your yacht for 3 months. And then you come back to this magnificent estate and what it looks like as you approach it. You see it on the inside, but I think the outside approach would have been a nice touch to include here.
General, and continuing this way, we have the 4-car garage. Love these garage doors and how they carried out these arch details. They have this really cool pattern with different natural stones, limestone, to bring more character and depth and meaning to these different spaces that we're going to see throughout the property. They continue this pattern. I mean, look at the edging detail right there, and now the arrival to the courtyard. I love how they use precast stone across the property and these Corinthian details, the arch opening, wrought iron railing with...
I think you can tell at this point, the theme of this house is Corinthian precast stone. I don't know if this guy is in the concrete business or the architect has a relative who has a concrete business, but they went to town on the precast concrete. Don't really hate it. I don't love it, especially in this house whose inspiration is supposed to be Versailles. I would have wanted this to be more natural stone.
Brass details, and it brings you to this quaint, dreamy courtyard. And I mean, where do I begin with the details? The floors, the walls, sculptures, all these great windows, the landscaping, and the sound of this water feature. I don't know if you're in La Jolla or in South of France. I mean, this is magical.
It really is. As soon as you step into the courtyard, it's a completely different world.
Without a doubt. I mean, the grandeur is there, the experience is there. This water feature is so lovely. The house is in an immaculate condition. The landscaping looks phenomenal. And right in front of us, we have the door to the main house. Let's go in. Now, the main residence is broken down into 3 levels and features most of the bedroom suites, with each floor offering you different views to experience and enjoy the outdoors. And its unique design creates a juxtaposition against the iconic California coastline. When you think about a coastal setting like this is not a type of home you initially picture, but the grandeur, the stonework, all these columns, arches, exudes the experience of the ocean in such a unique way. And a lot of times when we tour these properties, I always look at if they've committed to the style that they were going for, right? And this house screams commitment to me. They wanted this look and they've owned it all the way. And they've really done justice to what this architecture calls for.
You know, when you come into the property, you kind of think at first it's going to have a museum feel, but it actually doesn't. Because it's set on the water, and because it's imagined not only after the Chateau de Versailles, it's also imagined after his yacht. And so the whole impression you get when you're in the property is that you're actually on the water. And he was trying to achieve that, and I think he did. And anecdotally, an interesting story, we were talking to Timothy Corrigan, and we said, you know, what was kind of the budget for this type of property? And he said, look, it was one of those things where I would bring him something that was cost effective, and he would come back to me and say, no, that's not the absolute top of the line material, top of the line finish. You need to up your standard.
Now that's interesting. This is interesting that the listing agent noted this this decision making process. You can clearly see there are some compromises, and that's not a bad thing. When anybody who's gone through any type of renovation or house purchase or analysis or assessment knows that when you're building anything, that everything is a concession or a compromise, or you have to, in order to achieve this, you have to move around this or that, and you can clearly see that philosophy does not carry over into many parts of this property. In a lot of it, but there are many places where there are some not so good choices made that they kind of contrast. Some of the decisions contrast this statement that the agent made
for this property.
The foyer of this property features some exquisite finishes. Look at the floors with all the inlays. They use the same precast stone on the interior to unify the architecture. All these casement grit windows, the double height ceilings here with this gorgeous crystal chandelier right in the center, solid brass railing throughout.
Look at this. When you walk through the door, the front door, that's to the on the right side of the screen here. As soon as you walk inside, you're greeted by this balcony. The chandelier is fine, but the balcony, it seems to be almost like a wall. And you don't want that. You want to, when you walk inside of a place like this, you want to have a sense of wow. You want to be hit with all sorts of sensory cues that say, wow, this is magnificent. This balcony kind of interrupts that. I mean, as soon as you walk in the door, this would have been better if it was set back, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 feet to give your eyes and your senses time to adjust to the volume. I don't know if this I think they could have done something different. They could have moved it back. They could have done something different. I'm not really sure what they could have done different. But this seems more like you have the entry and then you have another entry right in front of it. Even though it doesn't have doors, it just feels like a barrier, an unnecessary barrier.
This foyer really sets the tone for the rest of the main residence. In fact, why don't we flow this way so we can take everyone to the formal living room?
And this is what I mean. You're walking into the front door, and immediately beyond the barrier that I just described, so the barrier, so to speak, that I just described, you have I think it was like a small step down to get to this space, but the ceilings are compressed. They don't feel the same as it does in the guest suite. They could be the same height, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like you are walking into a progressively narrow space. When you walk in, you want your eyes to immediately go to the outdoor, the view to the outdoor, and it doesn't hit you that way. You'll find that I think you can see from this vantage point, it seems more like an afterthought. Even like the furnishings are oriented away from this view. It doesn't draw you into it, and I think this is an important kind of detail here that they missed the boat on. I think they didn't execute this as well as they could have, where you are drawn to. As soon as you open the door, your eye should be drawn to the outdoor space. But instead, you're interrupted by that first barrier. Then you have additional barriers with furniture and rugs and things like that. It seems like it doesn't want to pull you in, but you end up gravitating to it just because it's there. But it doesn't seem like they want you to focus on this, which is kind of unfortunate.
This vast space features two separate seating areas, but the focal point of the room is the Pacific Ocean. That's why we have these arch openings, picture windows, sliding glass doors. It's all about the views. And coming back to the seating section, I mean, look at the furnishings here. The level of commitment to the design, where you have all these intricate details, the ceiling paneling, your imported fireplace, and all the accessories, furnishings, and details to tie the experience. In fact, early on today, I got a chance to sit down in this living room and look around. And the funny thing is, the more I sit here, the more details I recognize. The stone built-in sections, the accessories, the candle holders, and how all these wall sconces and light elements are tying and exuding the feeling of these rooms. In fact, Cody, why don't we turn this way? Look at the cabinet on this side, the countertop, the millwork, the handles. I mean, it's so exquisite, and I get it. This may not be everybody's style, but you have to respect and appreciate the commitment. You have to acknowledge the amount of work, resources that went into a home like this, and it lives so well. It really owns its identity, and now we can see the second seating area. This one is...
I think he just kind of touched on something that's a really important detail here. It says this house owns its identity. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I mean, if you recall what I just mentioned earlier, you have to jump through a lot of different hurdles just to experience this view. The other thing about owning its identity is that, remember a little while back where I contrasted what the old structure looked like, that kind of coral color, whatever color that was in its previous form. If you go back and look at that and look at how just how the spaces are oriented, how they're shaped, you're seeing the outcome of not substantially changing the layout, not substantially changing the ceiling volumes, the ceiling heights and things like that. And that's why we have these, we're experiencing the outdoor views, we're experiencing the layouts, we're experiencing some of the, disjointed and not really cohesive to, like the guest suite, for example. We're seeing that play out right here. And not to say, I'm very sure if we all were there in that room, we would be in awe. Just because of the elegance, just the amount of materiality that's conveyed here. But once you get over the initial impression, you start to see, some of the things that could have been different.
More focused towards the views. And again, I'm going to repeat myself, but between your coffee tables, the books, the accessories, all these stone elements, and when you pair that up with the Pacific Ocean, when you have this incredible natural view this close to your living room, it makes you feel some type of way. I mean, this is incredible. The coastline, the beach, the color of the water, it is right in your living room. And then you have this grand, expensive space to enjoy it. And when you're ready, you simply open up this sliding glass door and go enjoy this covered terrace here with a marble table right in the center. In fact, this is one of the owner's favorite spots to sit down, relax, enjoy the view. That's why we also have space heaters here. And with these arched openings, the columns, the weight, and the emotion you feel as you sit down here is really special. And you can just hear the Pacific Ocean. This is incredible. This is priceless.
I think I would keep the doors open all day just so I can hear it throughout the house.
I mean, it's so relaxing, and we're so close. It's hard to explain. I hope we're doing a good job making everybody feel like they're right here with us. Now, the next space we're going to tour is just as special, and it is the formal dining room. This is where they took the design and the commitment to the style to another level.
Yes, wow. And I'm saying wow, not in a wow, this is kind of this is too much. This is wow in a space in a home like this. You want to be wow. You want to experience this. I think this is much better when you approach this, when you experience walking into this, much better than walking into the to the living area. I mean, this is where you have your fine your nice dinner for your fundraiser or whatever. Your best, most important friends, they sit at this table. You can even see like the banquets or buffet along the wall. They appear to be kind of curved, built in a curved fashion to kind of mimic the shape of the wall. I mean, this is nice. I mean, again, like he mentioned, this isn't going to be everyone's taste, but for this house and for the direction and inspiration they were trying to achieve, I think this does a great job of that Versailles, that palace type feel.
The oval design of this room, the ceiling height, the plaster details, all this gold leaf detailing and intentional lighting. And then you have this grand solid wood table right in the center of the room, and you can have an extravagant meal here with 16 of your friends and family and enjoy an incredible room like this next to the Pacific Ocean. This is what's so interesting and powerful about this property. The setting is contrary to the ocean, but then part of you is in the history and part of you is so close to the nature, and you're somewhere in between interacting with both of these environments.
It's so interesting, and honestly, the only word I have for this room is royal.
It is. It's royal, it's grand. I know we're running out of words, and while we're at it, let me show you some features as well. There's a motorized door here, opening up to a dry pantry where they keep their glassware and accessories. Let me close this back up. And Cody, can we pan to the floors for a second? The natural stones in this house and the layer of intricacy that they've applied to these floors and the stonework throughout, you have to admire it, you have to appreciate it. And they have taken this level of detailing to everywhere. I mean, look at these curved French doors. Look at the hardware on them. In fact, right in front of the formal dining room, we have this beautiful wraparound balcony that we're going to see in a second. But Cody, now let's take everybody this way so we can talk about the rest of the details here. Now, since this room had the specific design, they had to custom manufacture all the furnishings here as well. And in fact, look how this cabinet follows the contour of the wall. All the gold leaf details, the window treatments, the chandeliers. In fact, they take out these chandeliers once a year, hand polish them, and put them back up. And that's how they make sure that they look spotless. This is an incredible room.
Yeah, if you go back and look at even like the recessed lighting cans, they are very well integrated into the ceiling. They are not the star of the show. Like sometimes you have spaces where I think they call the lighting kind of Swiss cheese lighting, when the lighting just dominates the ceiling and not in a good way. This kind of recedes into the background, but provides that very soft, elegant lighting that you want in a space like this. This is well done.
It is an experience to be here, and I'm so glad we got a chance to tour it and share it with all of you.
I agree.
Now, let's continue this way, Cody. We have to show the kitchen. Just like the guest residence, the kitchen here is designed like a commercial kitchen.
Yeah, I will say, walking out of that beautiful dining room and into this looks, this is stepping back in time. I mean, this feels like not much was changed from the old house. I mean, you have the cabinetry, although beautiful in like design, but like the finish kind of looks of maybe like late 80s, early 90s type of color palette, along with the countertops. And then you have like the range, the hood is kind of curved in a not a modern type of feel. It feels very dated. Not to say that anything's wrong with it. I mean, this isn't. I mean, I think there's going to be a segment of people who will appreciate that. And then not only that, that can be changed. That's not a big deal. I will say that is a very nice 60-inch Thermador range with looks like a double oven, 6 burner, along with the griddle. I mean, that is probably a $15,000 range right there, if not more than that. So these are the types of things you want to see in a house like this. But I think they could have done better with the cabinetry, and even like the refrigerator here. Like this doesn't match the elegance of the guest suite to me. I think this, if I were to show you both kitchens side by side, I think you would say this is probably, if I didn't tell you where they were, you would say this is in the guest suite and the other one is in the main house. Outside of the extra foot of range space, this looks like they're flip flopped, and not in a good way. I think this should have been in the same design as the, or something very similar to the design of the guest suite.
It is for your staff. And let's face it, when you live in a home like this, there's a good chance you'll have your staff with you, your chef cooking, preparing food, and serving the guests of this home. And that's why we have a massive gas range here. All this cabinetry and countertop space, more on the darker tones, your sink, dishwashers, a small coffee station, and going to the other side, we will flow to this small family room. Here we have this comfortable sectional couch, this massive fish tank that is double-sided, and it actually looks into a powder room, which is a really cool, fun touch. It's a nice backdrop. And over on the other side, you can see that this family room connects back to the foyer, your built-ins, and check this out. This TV actually swings all the way to the other side. That way you can enjoy it from the seating section or the small dining area. Now, this is a really important detail because we've been told that the homeowner spends most of his time on that outdoor seating area that we just showed you next to the formal living room. And when it's cold, he tends to spend a lot of his time here and enjoys this little seating section, which is a very nice, cozy, intimate space. Now, before we go out to the tea garden, why don't we go this way so we can talk about this hallway. Again, we have the powder room here with a beautiful marble sink and fabric walls. Next to that is your laundry room, and the rest of the hallway takes you to a guest suite and connects to that 4-car garage that we saw earlier. And lastly,
you can kind of see here as we left the dining room, the formal dining room, you can see that even going back to the entry, how some of the design language diverges from what you would think sets the tone in the guest house. The guest residence has what I would have expected the design language to be for the entire place, but Looks like I don't know which one guided the decision or the theme, whether it was the main house that was the dominating or the prevailing theme, or was it the guest residence? But I think the guest residence should have been, the how they executed on the inside as well. But you can start seeing where there's no the relation seems to start pulling away a little bit. Still some good choices, some good materials, but they start not looking as cohesive as you would expect it to be.
I'm going to open up this French door so we can check out the tea garden. These kind of homes are all about creating unique experiences and emotions. And what a cool outdoor space that is located on the side of your property. You have water features, beautiful landscaping, this red tiled floor. And this is a great moment for you to sit down, drink your espresso, enjoy a cup of tea, and just have a little quiet, private moment to yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you remember the space down in front of the seawall, like the where they had the lobster cave and things like that, and the private beach, those spaces are so disconnected from that house that you don't really think that they're even a part of it. If no one told you that they were, and it's kind of hard to experience to even want to go down and experience those spaces because they just seem so just unrelated. This space is a lot different. I enjoy seeing this space. I can definitely see myself, walking out with a cup of espresso, with a newspaper or whatever. Someone who makes enough money to afford a $108 million house. Whatever they do, I think I would enjoy doing it here.
And what's so great about this space is the fact that it flows to that curved balcony that we saw earlier next to the formal dining room. Now, I've been really enjoying this balcony because when you come up here, you get to hear the ocean, see this incredible view, and you get a chance to smell it. I wish I can just bottle up the smell here and ship it to your home so you can experience it as well because it is so refreshing. It is so vibrant. And the California coastline, this property, how it's situated on this bluff, it's an exhilarating experience to be here and to enjoy what La Jolla has to offer. Now, I want to take all of you back to the landing so we can continue our tour with the right wing. Here we have the main staircase going down to the lower level as well as the top floor where we have the primary bedroom. But I want to quickly swing this way because we have another hallway here that takes us to 2 guest suites and a really nice powder room. And now we have a really exciting space. To my right, we have the yacht bar. Just when you think this property cannot offer you something more unique, different, exciting, well, it does. I mean, look at the space that we're in.
Now, this looks like a fine English gentleman's bar, and in a good way. And I remember what I had mentioned before about the bathroom, the men's bathroom in the cabana looking like a restaurant bathroom. I think this does a very good job of introducing that, men's. I mean, it feels very masculine. It feels very, I can get a cigar and brandy here and just relax. This is the sort of thing I don't mind seeing that kind of replicates a, like a fine hotel lounge type of space. I don't mind seeing that here in a private residence. This is a good job. This is executed well.
Perfect room to entertain between the dark tones, the millwork, these hardwood floors, the built-in seating, and all these arch windows facing the Pacific Ocean. I feel like I'm on an exquisite yacht, enjoying the bar and just watching the ocean straight from it. This is wild. It is such a cozy space. You have your mood lighting throughout. And of course, no bar is complete without the bar section. You have your bar stools, backlit countertop, the millwork here, and I just love how they incorporated the arches and the details all the way to the Corinthian details with the cabinetry. You have your sink, TV. It's just a great room to entertain, hang out with your friends. I love that ceiling is a little bit lower here, so it provides that intimacy. You got this beautiful window, and when you're ready, you have the sliding glass door opening up to the terrace. Obviously, this property is all about the outdoors. So it's nice that all these seating areas, entertainment areas, open up to the outdoors one way or another. Here, we're back at the main terrace, and you have your seating section, another seating section on this side, and going this way, you have this cozy corner with a fireplace. And what I like about this terrace is the fact that you have all these different zones for you to enjoy. That way, you can appreciate as much privacy as possible, or you can simply walk to the edge and enjoy the Pacific Ocean a little bit more. Being this close to the ocean, enjoying the outdoors, hearing the waves is fantastic. And this main terrace is just an incredible space, but I'm excited for the next level that we're gonna tour. Now, the lower level is really exciting. We have a few really cool rooms here to see. First, welcome to this spacious gym that opens up to the outdoors. And before we go out there, I want to mention, we have the elevator landing here. That way you can come down to this level or come up from the beach straight to the gym. Now, to my left, we have a treadmill, elliptical bike, gym equipment. It is this nice open space with mirror walls. And around the corner, we have a full bathroom with a walk-in shower. That way, you can freshen up after a workout or trip to the beach, which is really nice. And if we continue this way, there's a hallway here that takes us to the only guest suite on this level. But before we go there, let's go outside.
It's 2031, and I finally qualify for Mint 55 Plus, an exclusive plan.
Here, we have this really nice covered patio with a built-in jacuzzi. I love all the mosaic details. It's right next to your gym, and you have this fantastic outdoor space with all these arches connecting to this other section where we have a really nice seating area. And the staircase here takes you up to the outdoor dining area that was so earlier. So all these spaces are connected, and they're taking you right down to the beach, and you get this fantastic view from the lower level. I mean, this is incredible, so peaceful, so beautiful. And yeah, now let's go back into the hallway so we can continue our tour. Here, we have a really nice guest suite, and in fact, to the left, we have the bedroom. But before we get there, let's check out the bathroom. At this point, our expectations are really high when it comes to the bathrooms in this house, and this one certainly delivers as well.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Enos. If I look at we go back to the guest residence, and I use it as a benchmark because it's done very well. You can start to see in the primary residence where I wouldn't be surprised if this was original to the house. It kind of the dimension isn't there in the same way. The cabinetry, the fixtures are not there in the same way. It doesn't have that texture, that same level of detail as in some of the other spaces. So, and to be honest, to be perfectly fair, not everything needs to be touched. I mean, there are some opportunities. A lot of people do take opportunities where possible to save some of the money by keeping things that work, that make sense. I mean, again, now this particular room doesn't deviate too far from the overall design language, and I imagine they probably didn't have to do much to make this stay in keeping with the rest of the house. But I would be very surprised if they said that this was not the original the original layout, the original materials used in the existing house. It looks like it could have been there not since 2015. This looks like this could have been there 20, 30 years ago.
We have limestone floors with mosaic inlays, glazed subway tiles, all these trim details, and then you have your custom cabinetry here with handcrafted details, your gold handles, gold fixtures from Sherl Wagner, and then you have your natural stone countertops with all these lip details. The smell of the bathroom, this hand-painted tile design on the back, and it actually continues all the way to the other side where we have the walk-in shower. They use the same hand-painted tile as a feature across the shower, and the fixtures, how it's maintained, this glass door with this custom handle. This is a beautiful bathroom. Now, going into the bedroom, we have the same limestone floors throughout, built-in cabinetry here to hide your TV and all your clothes.
This is another example of what I'm talking about. I guarantee you that this TV cabinet space they didn't change much, because this is the space you would design around like an old tube TV. You wouldn't design like a modern, flat panel TV this way. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, this is going to be, I guess this is another kind of guest suite, if I recall. There's no need to spend the money here in the same way. So, it's acceptable in that regard to leave some of these things as is. But, I only mention this because you can start to kind of see where a lot of the old house shows through.
And right in the center of this room, we have a massive king-size bed, your bedside table. There's also a little desk here for you to get some work done. But the focal point of this room is this view. We have a massive picture window here, casement window on this side, and you get to enjoy the Pacific Ocean straight from this guest suite, because it is the closest guest suite to the beach. And what an incredible view.
It's so incredible. Out of all the bedrooms we've seen so far, this is by far my favorite.
It is such a special space, and it's an immersive sensory experience to be on this level, enjoy these views, and what an incredible property. After so many years of seeing and experiencing luxury assets across the globe, it's still exhilarating to walk into a property like this, where the setting, the architecture, and everything in between is so unique. It makes us curious about the individuals who dare to dream big and pursue these kind of projects and turn them into reality.
Mr. Deason, the owner of the property, built a couple of tech companies, sold his company to Xerox for $8.5 billion enterprise value, and loves to build things, whether it's a company, whether it's a property. And I think in understanding the way his mind works, and a lot of our clients are like this, they love to build something, put it all together, and create a masterpiece.
As you go through life, you meet people that they're very budget conscious, and then you meet those people who they know we only have so much time on this planet, and they have the means to do whatever they want, and they want to do a statement. They want to do a statement for themselves.
So what do you guys think? Is this a statement? Is this a manifestation of when there are no financial constraints? Do we agree or do we disagree?
The current owner, he really had a lot of pride and personal involvement in this house.
He really likes to build something special, unique, that nobody else has ever done. And this project is just grandiose. And I think he achieved it.
And he certainly did. But also, that begs another and arguably even more important question. How do you justify a $108 million price tag, or even where the number came from?
Where the number came from is a very interesting story. And we usually price properties in two ways. So number one, we price it based on replacement cost. And if you look at this property, you have two parcels on the waterfront that are worth approximately 18 to 20 million each if it was just the land. And then you have the cost of construction at this level. You'd have to build a seawall. You'd have to build the private beach, which can never be done again. So that has a new intrinsic value. But from a replacement cost standpoint, this property is 13,000 square feet. And with the finishes that you have here, if we were to build it again today, it would be easily $60 to $70 million replacement cost for the homes that are here, plus the land. So you're already at 110, $100 million in replacement costs for the home.
And that's the question, or rather the answer to the question, maybe. Who is this house for? Are these things, which of these things are going to matter to this person that's going to spend $108 million? Again, as mentioned earlier, this is the stratosphere where you kind of want things to be your own taste, not someone else's taste. I think they did a good job of describing, the value, because I think they realize, indirectly that, some of the house itself may not be of importance to someone who this may ultimately land in the hands of. There are some elements, the double lot, the siting of the house, the approach of the house, some of the things that make it what it is. But a lot of it, and I would say a big chunk of it, is probably not going to be that special to anyone else. And that's the challenge. That's the tough part when you sell houses like this, is they are built to a standard of the person who's writing the check. But the other person who's writing the check now, he has to ask himself, what is this really worth to me? Do I put my own mark on it? If I can afford $108 million, I can probably afford to do whatever I want to do with this house. And, and so looking at it from that perspective, I'm going to look at how much of this can I replace? Which of these things, this precast concrete, can I tear down to realize my own vision? I think that's the question that the real estate agents have to answer.
So not only is this house replacement value worthy, it's inspirational value worthy. And if you wanted to buy it and build it today, you couldn't get two lots adjacent to each other. And third, you could never, ever imagine building such a spectacular property unless you're fully committed, as you've been saying to me all afternoon.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients and meals, saving.
Now the top floor, where the primary bedroom is situated. It's a really special level, and off of its landing, we have this vast open space, that beautiful crystal chandelier that is situated above the foyer, and going this way, we have the hallway leading us to the primary bedroom itself.
So the place he just was walking in was right above the entry. Remember I mentioned that space kind of visually dominated your experience as soon as you walked in. I think now seeing this room, I can see that I was right, that they could have, moved back that visual barrier so that it wasn't in your face as soon as you walked in. Now you would have lost a little square footage, but you wouldn't have lost much, because they're underutilizing the square footage in this bedroom right here, to the extent where it could have made it a lot more cozy. Maybe not. They could have reduced the size for sure, but I think there could have been some different layout changes to really have that monumental impact, that feel when you walk into this residence. Again, taking away some of the space here. True, you would probably, you wouldn't get you take a hit from the reduced square footage, maybe, but you would have recovered it in the feel, in the wow factor that you get, that you could have potentially, built in by rearranging that space at the front entry.
This is an oversized room. It flows straight to the ocean. But before we talk about the views, why don't we talk about some of the details here? Your king-size bed. Look how extravagant the headboard design is. The window treatments and all the fabric detailing throughout. Your ceilings. Your cabinet that hides your pop-up TV. And besides some of the furnishings and details, they left the rest of the room really open because it's all about the outdoors. And we're going to check that space out in a second. Now, this primary bedroom comes with 2 full bathrooms. his and her side. We're going to continue with the her side. The way these bathrooms are designed are very intentional. And throughout these spaces, we have many different zones, areas for different functionalities and amenities. Now, off of the entry of this bathroom, we got this gorgeous vanity with an onyx countertop. But what I love here is the cabinetry. How we have these mirror fronts with all these intricate details and gold inlays. Now, continuing our tour, we have the center section of the bathroom here with a built-in tub and your main vanity. They use the same cabinetry, same onyx countertops, but the lip design here, the backsplash, the overall fabrication is so elegant. Look at these gold fixtures, these intricate wall sconces, your makeup area, and over on the other side, they use the same onyx to wrap this built-in tub. But
now I'm looking here, just talking about the the consistency and the design and the materials and things like that. There was an extensive use of onyx. I don't know if this guy is an onyx dealer or something like that, but there's a lot of onyx. I think maybe too much onyx. And that's the challenge too, kind of balance between the use of consistent materials, but you can also overuse them. I get the feeling here, and it may not be true, but I get the feeling that this may have existed in the existing iteration of the house before the renovation, and maybe they carried some of those details into other parts of the house. This looks kind of like looks very 1980s type. It not in a timeless way, but just in a this is what they were doing in the 1980s type of feel. Whether it's true or not is I'm not sure about that, but that's what it feels.
the fabrication here, all these details, this curved corner, this is so tasteful, and with all the toiletries, it just sets the mood. Now, over on the other side, we have the spacious walk-in shower. It is all stone clad, and this woven onyx section here is such a beautiful contrast against the flat walls. You have your skylight above, your gold fixtures. This space looks impeccable. It is maintained so beautifully as well. The whole house is in an incredible condition.
Now, this bathroom, that shower is incredible. It is beautiful. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen woven stone before. That is pretty impressive. But it's really interesting that that's the only thing that's really impressive. Something that gets you excited about coming into this place, into this space. Very nice, very elegant. I would love taking showers in a space like that.
And this is where your cabinetry starts. Your separate water closet and walk-in closet with built-in cabinetry, carpet floors, island on this side. I mean, her side of the bathroom is amazing, but wait till you see his side. We have more of the darker tones with marble floors, wood-paneled walls and ceilings, and I just love the feel of this space, how it has such a strong presence. You have a small seating area here, built-in desk around the corner, and over on this side we have a really elegant bar with all the spirits, elevator landing next to Cody. That way you can directly come up to this level, and coming back to this space you basically have an office before you head to your walk-in closet and the bathroom.
Now, this is impressive as well. Not since the formal dining room, and even more recently the shower, with the woven stone, the woven onyx. This room is pretty amazing. From his side of the space, to walk into this space, after a hard day's work, to come in this space and have a drink, have a seat, read the paper or whatever, and maybe draft up a deal right here at the desk before I retire to the shower. I mean, this is a very nice space. I mean, I love the experience. And it's not a humongous space. The ceilings are not, super tall. It's an intimate space, but it feels very well executed toward its intended use. I love it.
Now, I really like this office because you get fantastic views from here, and we also have a lot of different cool accessories and memorabilia. In fact, The homeowner here owns a really cool yacht, and he also owns a G6000. That's why we have the scale model here. And as we were touring the property, I can really see the homeowner's experiences with jets and yachts and how that has influenced the way this property is designed and maintained. So it's really cool to see all these luxury assets and similarities in between. Now, follow me this way because we got to check out this exquisite bathroom. To my right, we have the walk-in closet, and going in, we have the walk-in shower right in front of us. They use the same darker tones in this shower, and then we have the gold fixtures, beautiful inlays, and continuing this way, same marble floors, and we have the vanity here with a gold sink. I mean, look how intricate and elegant this gold faucet is. We have a window to our right, framing the coastline perfectly, your separate water closet, and I also really appreciate how her side and his side are totally different, but they both complement the primary bedroom. Now, the last space we're going to see is the homeowner's favorite spot on this property.
If you have lots of readings to do, not just for your essays but for studying in general, you can just copy.
Imagine being able to wake up to this view every single day, straight from your primary bedroom. That's exactly what this outdoor space provides. Being able to enjoy the Pacific Ocean, hear it, smell it, and see this coastline from your bedroom is so special. It is such a sensory experience, and that's why this particular spot is the homeowner's favorite space in the entire home. Now, I love that this balcony wraps around so you can kind of enjoy different vantage points, and our elevation certainly helps. That way, we get these true unobstructed views. And I have to say, it's been an incredible sensory day touring this property, hearing the Pacific Ocean, seeing it constantly from so many different areas, so many different sections. And when you think about the property itself, its architecture and all these unique rooms and how it's curated, it's a one-of-a-kind experience. And that's why we were so excited throughout the day. And just knowing that you're right by the beach, you can simply walk outside and explore nature with this kind of intimacy. And this setting is what makes this home truly one of a kind.
What is your impression? You've seen so many spectacular homes now. What is your heartfelt, honest impression? Were you surprised when you walked in?
It shows better in person. I knew what we were coming into because we have seen properties like this, right? At this kind of extravagant level. Because in US, we've gone good at making things look cool, but they're all fabricated.
Right.
But I can tell owner's influence and taste. The other thing that I really appreciate is we spend a lot of times on yachts. And
just one thing I noticed in the real estate agents asking of that question, it was a revelation of a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of, and not in a bad way. I think it was just, and he was looking for an honest assessment of how this property is perceived. When you're selling, there's a humongous pressure to sell property in this price range. You have the owner who could have interviewed and selected one person or team of people to carry out, the sale of this home. And we don't know what the constraints are. We don't know what the limitations are if there's a target or a timeline or something else driving the sale of this home. But once it hits the market, once you decide that you want to sell, there is a desire to move on from it. And I suspect that in trying to figure out how they move on, that there's not going to be a lot of buyers at this in this realm, in this neighborhood, price neighborhood rather, not a physical neighborhood. And you have to know what they're going to want. Now, I will say that no matter the property, they all sell. They will all absolutely sell, but at what price? And that's the thing that this gentleman, he wants an answer so that he can better represent how he carries out the transfer of this property from the current owner to the next. So I think it's a little. I think maybe that question shouldn't have been asked, or maybe should have asked in a different way. Like, what his impressions are, having seen different properties at many different price points. Where the strengths are in this house. What type of people would most likely be the one who would land on something like this, as opposed to, like, it kind of acts in a way like, well, what's wrong? What do you think was wrong with our house at this point? That was kind of like the sentiment I think I got in him asking that question. But I think it's fair. It just represents some humanity and some realistic, establishing and creating realistic expectations for what the market is going to show us.
And this was built more like a yacht than a home. And that's a very positive thing. The way rooms smell, how they're maintained, how they're curated, how intricate details were not overlooked, how all the rooms offer something unique, not just the main rooms. You're at guest suite number 6 that are still inlaid marble floors. All
Right.
the fixtures are still beautiful. The sinks are marble. They didn't go cheap there. So I can see how the owner's experience of all these assets have influenced. And it was almost like a way of putting all that feedback, all that knowledge together.
Right.
And let's go build something with it.
Now, this is my favorite part. This is where you get to see the product of all the nice, warm, romantic lighting. You get to see the architectural lighting highlight the details. In a way, because of the color palette, you get to see that warm glow in a very nice, satisfying, pleasing way that just isn't available in the daytime. In this case, some of the cast concrete and the color choices are really, really highlighted and are most appropriate at this time of the day.
As the sun sets on the coast here, the lighting, the colors, the way they've lit this property really makes it special and brings it to life.
It's really fun to see the expansive, the left to right view of the sun going down from the cove all the way up the coast. It's mesmerizing.
And there you go. We made it to the beach. I have to say, it feels a little bit odd walking on the beach right now because we spent the entire day at the property observing and enjoying these views. But the fact that you can just open up a gate, walk to the beach, and enjoy this scenery in person is priceless. I mean, that's the Pacific Ocean. People are on their paddle boards, swimming, enjoying this amazing scenery. And it's been incredible being in La Jolla and being part of the amazing surroundings here. And also, I think we're doing a pretty good job capturing the dusk right now between the light, the color of the ocean, the smell, and being able to turn back and look at this incredible structure from the beach is priceless. And I don't think I'll ever forget the memory of touring this property and sharing it with all of you.
want to say Tim.
I'm Jack Black.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
I'm not Jack Black.
Oh.
The future of the sandcastle. Well, my father got to see this house growing up. I got to see this house growing up. My kids have seen this house growing up. And now my grandkids, I'm old, yes, have seen this house growing up. So we're 4 generations of viewing the sandcastle. And I feel like this being such a special, iconic property, that this house will be here for hopefully 4 more Clark generations. So it really is an iconic, one-of-a-kind storybook house.
I think a city or a town is its legacy. And these are the legacy properties of this town, this city, as well as our cultural institutions. But one thing's for certain, the Sandcastle is always going to be here. And I think it's going to be the iconic property that's going to set La Jolla apart for years to come.
This iconic property has made its mark on the coastline of La Jolla for almost 100 years. And has gone through so much to take on the shape it has taken today. It's a prominent estate, whether it's during the day or at night, glowing proudly against the dark sky. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us to be part of this story and bring this home, this location, and this experience to all of you. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and as always, we'll see you on the next one.
Now, what do you think? Tell me about the things that were executed well, things that hit the target, things that knocked it out the ballpark. But also tell me about what missed the mark. In the comments, let me know what you think, and we'll see you on the next critique.